Mentioned that pivot was about 3 to 4 years ago.
Yep, yeah. We pivoted around 3 to 4 years ago. We did it with, very little money in the bank. We were basically on life support for those initial early years. And around that time, some of you guys might be familiar with companies like Up Council or Atrium. While we're trying to figure out our own path, and barely raising a seed round, we did it by the skin of our teeth, basically. Companies like Atrium and Up Council, I think, had raised like around $100 million collectively between the two of them. So, we were dealing with that mid pivot as well and trying to figure out our own identity, our own purpose, principles, etc.
At that moment in time with some of the competitors, kind of like you mentioned, what was it like kind of thinking through your business and the potential direction of it, and maybe some of like the I would say like nuances that went into thinking through what does the future look like for us as a marketplace.
Yeah. So, we started working with these consumers, and then we realized that, hey, the real opportunity is probably working with businesses. So we started working with a lot of early stage startups. Like at a certain point, you would have been able to go to Lawtrades and set up your Delaware C corp or get a basic contract drafted, and that's sort of what Up Council, Atrium, and there was obviously some others too. We were all trying to be the on-demand legal service for businesses. What had happened is we realized that one, working with smaller businesses, it's great to serve them, but a lot of them didn't need our marketplace that frequently. If you think about your own selves, you might need to hire a lawyer as an early stage marketplace, maybe once a year, twice a year, if that. If you do need more than that, it's probably not a good sign. But yeah, we would the writing was on the wall, right? Like working with smaller businesses was a bad business model. We knew that from doing it our own, sort of being like the third runner up in the space. And we knew that they were probably dealing with that scenario too. Companies wouldn't come back frequently enough. When you're operating off like a margin, it's very hard to kind of scale that with a service that you're only using, just a couple of times throughout the year. But we had a few bright spots, during that realization. One of them was that we had a few big companies that were using us amongst all these smaller businesses. And we saw that they were just using us almost every day. Every day, every month, they were expanding, they made up such a large portion of, the gross revenue that was facilitated. And, when we were on life support, the decision was made like, hey, before we throw in the towel, let's go all in on this customer segment and see if that gets us anywhere. So that's how the pivot really came to be.